we saw that whenever we get into a state of extreme panic, it all starts with something called as a magical disease, which we all have, and we discussed the word behind that disease. What is that word? What is that word that causes this disease? See, Arjuna came to the war to fight for his rightful kingdom that was supposed to be assigned to them, right? He know who he is fighting for. He know who are the opponents. Even after coming, when both sides were blowing their conches, Bhishma did the first job. Roaringly, he started his conch, and then followed all the army people. They have all the beautiful instruments, wild instruments. They started banging them, and then suddenly, as a response to that, even Pandavas, right, starting from Lord Parama, Sri Krishna, starting from Krishna, everybody started blowing their respective conches, and their names and everything have been given in previous verses. They know pretty much who they are fighting with. So Arjuna did not shake at that point in time. Now he said, please take me to the center of the war field where I can see both the armies. He never stopped there. He said, I want to see who wants to fight with me, right? Who are these ill intellectual people, those who cannot think, Durbuddhe? Who are these who are trying to fight with me? Let me see their faces once. And then he came with all the pride, he came to the center of the war field, no man's zone. And then Krishna just used one word. He said, look, all your relatives, Arjuna, are on the left side and on the right side. See, your entire Kuru dynasty is available, standing there to fight against each other on both sides of the army. Samupastitham, right? They're equally available on both sides. Check. That's what he said. And he stopped. That's the only word Krishna spoke in the entire first chapter. Right? Now, then comes the injected disease into Arjuna called as attachment. We discussed about that word, the beautiful word, which is attachment. And we took some examples. I know Karen, Jan, they love different items to eat, right? So whenever that item comes home, you talked about pizza. So whenever that item comes home, you are the first one to bite it because you know you have much more association. We also talked about some of the nature of attachment also. The nature of attachment is, it is subtle. It is not seen. It is not like your clothes hanging onto the hanger that you can see every day. It is not that clear. Attachments are not that clear. They come and hurt you. They create a sense of pain. They create a sense of panic. They create a sense of emotional disturbance when they come. And when they come, they don't stay forever. They are momentary. They come in just like few minutes and then they go off. Sometimes they keep coming and going based on how much are we attached. So for example, I love sweets. Or I used to love sweets more. So what happened, like whenever I used to go out for groceries, I would always buy a sweet packet. And then at home people would ask, why are you buying sweets every time? You know, we're not supposed to eat so much of calories. Why are you buying so much of sweet? I didn't have the answer. But when I roamed around in the grocery store after taking whatever is required and whatever is there in the list which was given to me, I would always put my hand on a sweet box. Right? But did I plan to buy a sweet? No. Right? After coming home, also, if someone is eating that sweet, it's fine. But I don't know why I always had my hand on that when I roamed around in the grocery store. That was momentary attraction. So, attachment leads to attraction also. Okay? So, this attachment is very beautifully coined by Swami Chinmayananda as Arjuna's disease. It is not just Arjuna's disease, it is everyone's disease, is what we will see. Now, Arjuna started telling the symptoms of this disease. A person who is in the symptoms of Arjuna disease, struck by attachment, will behave this way. Sidanti mama gatrani. I don't have words to speak. I'm losing words. Right? Mukham cha parishishyati. The whole mouth is dried out now. Vepathuscha sharire me. I'm trembling, quivering, as if I'm suffering from fever. You know, when you go with, when you are struggling with fever, you will see your body come, almost like shivers, right? That's the kind of feeling he has now. Roma harshashtra jayate. The hair on top of the skin is all, it's just standing up. You see those goosebumps coming usually, right? So that's the kind of situation he is into. He doesn't stop there. We will go into 30. Who can repeat after me for 30? Okay. Kriti, you have your Bhagavad Gita book with you, Kana? Okay. So
Yeah.
Unmute yourself. I will say it slowly. You repeat after me, okay? We are on 30 on first chapter.
Okay.
Gandivam sramsate hastat.
Gandhi. Ma'am, it's only in English.
You're reading in English? Okay, so let me tell you. It's Gandivam sramsate hastat. Gandivam sramsate hastat.
Gandhi
Sorry. I will tell you one word, okay? Gandivam sramsate hastat. Tvakchaiva paridahyate nacha shaknomi
Chatromi
avasthatum
Avastatam
Brahmativa cha me manaha. Very good. You have a very sweet voice. Very nice. Varsha?
Thank you.
Yeah. Varsha, can you repeat one? Gandhi. Both of you can repeat. Okay. When I say Varsha, Vidra can also join. No problem. Gandivam sramsate hastat.
Gandivam sramsate hastat.
Tvakchaiva paridahyate.
Tvakchaiva paridahyate.
Paridahyate. H-Y-A. Hya. Paridahyate. Tvakchaiva paridahyate.
Tvakchaiva paridahyate.
Nacha shaknomyavasthatum.
Nacha shaknomyavastatum.
Brahmativa cha me manaha.
Brahmativa cha me manaha.
Very nice. Who else want to repeat? Is there anyone else who wanted to repeat?
Uncle, can I repeat?
Yes, Pranvidali. Can you go by your own, or do you need my help?
Can you say it once?
Okay, Nana. So let's do full lines then, okay?
Okay.
Gandivam sramsate hastat tvakchaiva paridahyate.
गाण्डीवं श्रंसते हस्तात् त्वक्चैव परिदह्यते
न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुम् भ्रमतीव च मे मनः.
न च शक्नोमवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः.
Very nice. Thanks, Kali. So here he's continuing with the symptoms. Now you will see when, let us say this, okay? To understand human being, we have to understand human being from three different angles. One is body or her body, right? So human being's body. Then comes the mind, okay? And then comes the intellect. Please remember these three words. It's called V, M, and I. Very famously, Gurudev, Sri Chinmayananda Swami, gave us a beautiful chart called BMI chart. It's not body mass index. Of course, that is the body mass index, right? But it's called body, mind, and intellect. We will go through that in little more detail in coming class. But now, for us to understand the body, we can understand always from three different parts. Problems will come to body, problems will come to mind, problems will come to the intellect. Okay? Now somebody may say, why we are talking about body, mind, and intellect? Because when a doctor is healing, I don't know how many of you have gone to the doctors, but when you go to a doctor for some problem, they will not just give you a problem for that moment. They will give you some vitamins. They say, okay, use this for, building some energy and building some immunity. They will not just give their, suppose if I go with my finger cut, simple thing, I go with a finger cut. They will put a band-aid and they will say, what else I can do? I say, no, I know it is, but the blood doesn't stop. Oh, it doesn't stop? Then I think we'll have to do something more. What he will do? He will not do anything. He will just give me some pills which will make me happy, which will make me feel that, oh, I've been taken care. Usually one band-aid is sufficient for that. You all know that, right? Similarly, here, when Bhagwan heals, Bhagwan does not heal only the body, which is kind of problem. He says, my throat is all dry. He will not give a water bottle there. Krishna will not give a water bottle. Here Arjuna, drink. Your problem will be solved. No. Where is the problem? We talked about that. The problem started with the attachment. Where is attachment? Can you see? Is it big? Is it small? Is it white? Is it black? You don't know that because we cannot see that. But we can feel that. So feel is the emotion. Factory of all the emotions is called as mind. Factory of all the emotions is called mind. So you need to heal mind also, correct? But this mind is creating all the emotions, great. But who should correct that? Suppose if you are doing something wrong in the family, who should correct? Not your neighbor. Neighbor will not come and say, see, you should not do all these things. Huh? He will not say, don't create mischief. They will not say. Why they would worry about you? It's your Amma and Nana, your dad and mom, right? They will come to you and say, no, don't do this. This is bad. This is good, right? Something like that should be there with us also, isn't it? Otherwise, we will do all random things. There should be a proper tool given to us by Lord, because He has given this life. He should have given us the tool that tells this is right, this is wrong. This must be done, this should not be done. Right? What is that tool? That tool which determines, the word is determines. The tool that determines what is right, what is wrong is popularly known as intellect, buddhi, intellect. The tool that creates emotions all the time and makes us feel something or the other is called as mind. In Sanskrit, it is called manaha. And a tool that has no feelings, a tool that has no sense of making any decisions, but it just performs the activities that is given to it, is called as body. Sharira. So we have Sharira, Mana, Buddhi. These are the three main equipments that Bhagwan has given us to sustain this life. Arjuna's problem is not just the problem of the body. First, 29th, when somebody reads this thing, oh, this is just a problem. He is probably tired. It's hot sun. That's why he's feeling so. No. 30 clearly mentions, Gandivam sramsate hastat. I am not able to hold my Gandiva. Gandiva is the bow. Very famous bow that was offered to Arjuna by Lord Shiva. Mere sound of that string would make many die in the warfield. That was the strength of that bow. And the only person who could handle that bow was Arjuna, the mighty Arjuna. Mahabaho. That's why he's called Mahabaho, great shoulders. He could not handle it. He says, it's slipping out of my hands. That means I'm feeling sweaty. I can't hold it anymore. And then he says, Tvakchaiva paridahyate. My skin is appearing to me as if it's burning out. Have you ever seen, right in the middle of the winter, have you ever seen the sweat coming out of your body? Especially when you are on the stage, trying to speak about something in a debate competition or something. Did you see that? I have witnessed it. I was in an AC room. I was talking and I was sweating once. I said, why am I doing? I mean, what is happening to me? Why am I sweating as if it's hot sun outside? I don't know how many of you have experienced this, but sometimes when I'm cornered, in my childhood, when I used to be called and said, Pawan, can you sing something? I can sing, but I used to feel a lot of fear. And because of that fear, my body was full of sweat. Huge. So did you, any one of you, did you go through such an experience? It's not seasonal, it's not hot outside, but still you sweat. Varsha is laughing. You might have gone through that experience, correct? Now we have to understand why this happens to us. It's happening to Arjuna, it happens to us. As if the body is burning. Then he says, Nacha shaknomi avasthatum. I am not able to. Shaknomi, able to. I'm not able to. Avastha. Stha means we discussed. What is stha? STH? That's the first Sanskrit word that we used. Right? What is stha? STH? There is an English word to it also. Station. Stha, station. Remember that way. Avasthatum. Stationed at a particular place. Stably standing. He says, I am not able to stand myself stable at a spot. That means he's moving. He's trembling and he's also moving. He is not stable. He cannot stand at one point. Brahmativa cheme manaha. Brahmativa. Dazzling. Dancing. Not focusing. Not being able to focus on anything. Right? It's just swinging around. That is called Brahmativa. Wandering. What is wandering here? Manaha. What is Manaha? Who can tell me? I just told you, right? Manaha is factory of emotions in us. It creates, every moment it creates emotions. So while I'm speaking also, there could be some emotions in me. Who is doing that? The mind is actively creating those emotions. So that mind is wandering, which means my emotions are also wandering. I'm not able to focus on anything. That is the problem. Okay? This happens when you, like for example, when you are going to write the examination with a pre-decided anticipation that you must come first in the examination. And you sit in the chair and you don't know the result, but you want the result. What will happen then? I know I want to be the first in the class. I sit in the classroom writing the examination, I know what I want, but I don't know whether it will happen or not. What will happen to me? The first thing I'll do is I'll not be able to put my pen properly on the paper. I might have written thousands of pages of my assignments for the whole year. But at that moment when I was supposed to write it clearly, I will not be able to write. Why? Because I have already attached myself to a known result and I want to achieve that result. So my attachment to the result is stronger and I'm not prepared to leave that away. I'm not prepared to leave my father whom I'm sending off. We talked about that Narsapuram experience, my college experience. When my dad was going off, I could not handle. Why? Because I had a strong attachment. I had an expectation that I will be there with him all the time, which is not possible. Right? So I had that attachment, and so at that point in time, I experienced exactly everything that Arjuna is experiencing right now. But it was momentary. So should be for Arjuna also. It depends on the nature of attachment. Okay. Now Arjuna says, I'm not able to hold Gandiva. My skin is all burning, right? I'm not able to stand properly at one place, and my mind is wandering. He is giving all the symptoms of Arjuna disease. Now let's go into 31 and see what Arjuna continues. Anshika, will you repeat after me? Yeah, I'll come to you with that. Nimittani cha pashyami.
Nimittani cha pashyami.
Nimittani cha pashyami.
Nimittani cha pashyami.
Viparitani Keshava.
Viparitani Keshava.
Very good. Again. Viparitani Keshava.
Viparitani Keshava.
Nacha Shreyonupashyami.
Nacha Shreyonupashyami.
Nacha Shreyonupashyami.
Nacha Shreyonupashyami.
Hatva Swajanamahave.
Hatva Swajanamahave.
Hatva Swajanamahave.
Hatva Swajanamahave.
Jian, you want to repeat? You have Bhagavad Gita book with you? No?
Sir, I don't have the book, but I have taken the print. I don't have
no
today's verses.
Okay, no problem, no problem. So if you can repeat after me, that, and you can call me uncle. Okay. Nimittani cha pashyami. Unmute yourself.
Uncle, I won't be able to do.
Acha, you won't be able to. No problem, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, no problem, beta. Varsha and Vidra. Nimittani cha pashyami.
Nimittani cha pashyami.
Akada ta, you have to do double T. Okay. Nimittani.
Nimittani cha pashyami.
Perfect. Viparitani Keshava.
Viparitani Keshava.
Nacha Shreyonupashyami.
Nacha Shreyonupashyami.
Hatva Swajanamahave.
Hatva Swajanamahave.
Nimittani cha pashyami. Right? See, now he is going into, he is a great student. He has read everything, all the scriptures. Now he is talking about bad omen, bad things happening. Apashakun. We in Telugu will say Apasakunam. Right? He's talking about all those. Nimittani means that. He's saying something bad will happen if I engage myself into this war. I'm sensing something bad. What is sensing? What do you mean by sensing? Do your duty, yes or no. That's it. what is this sensing something weird happening? Why you are sensing all that? Nimittani cha pashyami. I'm seeing that something bad is going to happen. Oh, you didn't saw that earlier? You are seeing just now. Why? Viparitani Keshava. Viparitani is against our expectations. Anukulaha is as per expectations. Viparita is against the expectations. Something bad, something against our expectations, unforeseen, is going to happen, is what I think Krishna. See? Isn't this fair? Varsha, tell me, if you are in Arjuna's place, would you support him or not? What he is doing? He saw his relatives at both the sides. He knows when they fight, something bad will happen. Right? And he's saying that. What's wrong with that? We'll go with Arjuna. Yes, we understand why he's saying, and we will go with Arjuna. Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani Keshava. Who is Keshava? Who is Keshava? Yes, Vidra? Who is Keshava? Kriti, you know? Evarama? Keshava evaru?
Is it Krishna? No,
Yes, it is
Krishna.
Krishna. It is Krishna. Kriti, you wanted to say something? Who is Keshava? Okay. Do you know why he is called Keshava? Do you know why Krishna is called Keshava? In Bhagavatam, Canto 10, there is a beautiful story of little Krishna and Kamsa, his mama, who wants to kill Krishna. So when Krishna was in Gokul, that's the place where he grew up with his parents Nanda and Yashoda. When he was growing up, Kamsa, a king of Mathura, city called Mathura, he used to send demons one after the other to kill young little Krishna, the blue boy of Gokul. So while he was doing that, one of the demons that he sends was very fearful, very energetic, Balashali, and though he was a monster, he came in as a beautiful horse, so that people will get attracted. Obviously, those days people would get attracted to horses. So somebody will get attracted to horse, and that horse will take the revenge, will do the duty of killing Krishna. And that horse, the monster that came in the form of horse, was Keshi. His name was Keshi. And Krishna looked at the horse and he didn't took that as a horse. If I'm seeing something, I will just believe that it is, right? So for example, if I'm saying a chair, I will not say this is not a chair, this is something else. I will just say this chair, that is table, this is wall, right? That's fan. I will not give another name to it. Krishna said, you look like horse, you are not horse. You want to kill me? Come, let's fight. And he kills that demon called as Keshi. Now there is in Bhagavatam, which is all the stories about Krishna which Vyasa wrote. That's another epic which we should all read. In Bhagavatam, when Krishna's story is mentioned about Keshi, Keshi is just a monster who came in the form of a horse. Krishna finds, gets into a battle, kills Keshi, story done. Very simple. But the way we must understand is that Krishna has the ability to see what you are not. I may be projecting myself as a good boy. Right now you may think uncle is very good. I may not be good. Who can see that? Only Krishna can see that. Krishna says, hey, you came in as Pavan, I know what you are. And if required, he will punish. That capability is there in only Krishna to see something that's not shown. When you go to a doctor, doctor should be able to see what is not shown. He'll touch you, he'll take your pulse, he'll put a stethoscope, and he'll say, I know what the problem is. He says that. Similarly, when Arjuna comes with a problem, only doctor who can help him is The one who can see what is not shown. He says, my mouth is dried. He said, oh, really? Take this water. No, no. This is not why it is dry. My skin is burning. Why it is burning? My mind is wandering. Oh, what is making it to wander? A doctor who can see through and give a right medicine is Keshava. That's why in this shloka he is being called as Keshava. So it says Nimittani cha pashyami, and Arjuna himself is saying this. So he is seeking the doctor. He is saying, please invoke doctor in you. It is how beautiful. When I go with the problem, I also say, doctor, can you see to my problem? I will not say, even if the doctor was my friend, I will not say, hey, dude, can you just check? And the moment I said doctor, the doctor in him will just invoke. Right? So that's what Arjuna is also doing intelligently here. He is trying to get a solution. Then we have 3 verses that we have to read continuously. 32, 33, 34 goes together. Okay? We have 8 minutes, so I think we should be able to do that. Anybody who would like to volunteer? How about you, Krishna, this time?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I was just trying to give the opportunity to new people. Yeah, fine, no worries.
Na kangshe vijayam Krishna.
Na kangshe vijayam Krishna.
Na cha rajyam sukhani cha.
Na cha rajyam sukhani cha.
Kim no rajyena govinda.
Kim no rajyena govinda.
Kim bhogair jivitena va.
Kim bhogair jivitena va.
Yesham arthe kangshitam no.
Yesham arthe kamshitam no.
Rajyam bhoga sukhani cha.
Rajyam bhoga sukhani cha.
Ta imeva sthita yuddhe.
Ta imeva sthita yuddhe.
Pranam styaktva dhanani cha.
Pranam styaktva dhanani cha.
Acharya pitara putra.
Acharya pitara putra.
Tathaiva cha pitamaha.
Tadhaiva cha pitamaha.
Matula shvashura pautra.
Matula shvashura pautra.
Shyala sambandhinastatha.
Shyala sambandhinastadha.
See how beautifully. Thanks, Krishna. And Krishna actually chanted about Krishna. That's how beautiful. Nakankshe Vijayam Krishna. See here again. Now what is the word he is using for Krishna? He is not saying Keshava. He's saying Krishna. See what's happening here? He is giving the problems. When you go to a doctor and say, doctor, I have a problem, and he just doesn't bother. He just looks at you and does nothing. He just looks at you. Doesn't even speak. What do you think? What will go in your mind? Okay, let me give you a simple example of from your real life. Okay, so Akshi, let's say you go to Nana, you go to Dad. You say, Daddy, I'm actually looking for, going into a trip or something, or you'll just put forward something that you want, and you don't hear anything back. What is the first conclusion that will come to your mind? What will you think?
That he's not with me.
He's not with me. He's not interested. Or he is not understanding what I'm saying, right? Or he doesn't want to understand what I'm saying. There is something wrong. He never was like this. What happened? Suddenly he stopped responding. All these questions will come to you. Arjuna is also going through that. When Arjuna says, all the symptoms that of his symptoms when he is projecting, Krishna did not speak immediately. He said, "Oh, really, Krishna?" He did not say as a Saradhi of his chariot. He did not say, "Okay, let me see what's the problem." No. Just listening. Bolo. Tell me more. What do you? Huh? Because he knows what is Arjuna. Arjuna is not this person. Arjuna is a fearful fighter. Arjuna is Dhananjaya. Arjuna is Mahabaho. What is happening to him? He knows what is happening to him, but he will allow. Okay, go ahead. Show whatever wrong about yourself you wanted to show me, but I know who you are. Patiently listening. Here Arjuna continues with his logical interpretation. Now he says, "Oh, if I just tell him about my problems, he is not responding. So let me tell something more about." He says, goes back and then comes to logical conclusions. He says, "No, nakankshe vijayam Krishna. I am not desiring of any victory. I don't want victory." Now, is there a reason to war? No, I don't want victory. I am telling you, I don't want victory. So can we stop? Indirectly. I don't want victory. Nacha rajyam sukhani. I don't want happiness. I don't want rajyam. I don't want kingdom. Who asked you what you want? Whenever we in a panic state, when we say I don't want, that is exactly you want. In a panic state, when you say I don't want, that is exactly what you really want. So yes, Mr. Arjuna, you wanted victory. Yes, Mr. Arjuna, you wanted happiness. Yes, Mr. Arjuna, you wanted kingdom. Now you are saying, I don't want X, I don't want Y, I don't want Z. But all these three you wanted. That's what you are indirectly telling me now. Is Krishna thinking through all these lines? Kim no rajyena govinda, kim bhogair jivitena va, esham arthe kankshitam, no rajyam bhogaha sukhanicha, ta ime avasthita yuddhe pranam styaktva dhananicha. He is saying that for what I should get the kingdom? I will get the kingdom, people will die. Whom I am going to rule? I will get the kingdom. I will get the happiness. I cannot share with anybody. Why? Because people have died. I cannot go to my grandfather and say, Grandpa, I've got something to share with you. Where? He is no more. Why? You killed him. I cannot share anything. See, all these statements are purely correct. We should never think Arjuna is wrong. Arjuna is giving thanks to his intelligence, he has come up with so many ways to convince Krishna. This is how a salesman should convince when he is selling a product. If somebody wants to learn sales, come to Bhagavad Gita. See these shlokas, how Arjuna is selling what he must do. He started saying his characters and symptoms and what is happening to him so that he can connect with Krishna. Krishna did not connect that way. He did not pamper him. Now he is saying logically what is not needed. I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, so why we should do? Then also he did not speak. Now he's going a step ahead. He's saying, what, even if I get something, what will I do? I'll do nothing about it. Why? Because I don't have anybody to share. I don't have anybody to rule. Everybody is dead. What I will do sitting on that chair? Nothing. Logic. He is applying the logic where he should not apply. I should not say this now. But he is applying great logic here. And then he says, Yesham arthe kankshitam no rajyam bhoga sukhanicha. What is the use of all this happiness and rajyam, that the kingdom that I get, where people are not available, who will die in this particular war? Acharyaha, pitaraha, putraha, pitamahaha, matula, shvashura, shyala, sambandhinaha. All of these will be dying. Who are all these? Acharya, my guru, pitaraha, fatherly relations that are there on both the sides. Putraha, the son relations that I have on both the sides, nephews and everybody else. Pitamaha, grandfather, Matulaha, mother's side. Shwashura. Shwashuraha we said, right? Sasur is Shwashuraha. Father-in-law relationships. Pautraha, grandson relationships. Shyalaha, in Hindi we say Sala. In Sanskrit it is Shyala, which means it is brother-in-law. My brother-in-laws. Sambandhinaha, all the relatives, they will be gone. So what is fun in acquiring all the kingdom, all the happiness, all the wealth, when all of these people who I want to share with are gone? Doesn't it make sense to you all? What Arjuna is saying is right. How many of you think Arjuna is doing right here? I'm thinking he is doing right. Why at all you need to? I mean, this is exactly what I would think. If I was in his shoes, I will think no different from what Arjuna is thinking. Oh yes, what will I do? What will I do after all this? You know, these are the questions everybody will get through. And so what is the answer? How far it will go? We will see in the next chapter. But think, he is done telling about his body facts. Then he told about his mind, all the emotions that he is going through. And now he is applying his intellectual capacity, intellect, buddhi, and giving all logical explanations of why he should not get into the war, run away from the war. We'll see that in the next week. We'll continue from there. Okay. Let's do the closing prayers. Om Sarvesham Swasthir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavit, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityor ma amritam gamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you so much for joining today. We'll again have our discussion next week. Okay. Until then, have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye, Anai. I know.
Bye.
Bye.
Jai Shri Krishna. See you. Bye.
Bye, uncle.
Bye, Tali.
Bye, sir.
Bye, Kriti. You can call me Pavan Uncle. I'm not sir. I'm not that great. Okay, Nana? Call me Uncle. It's fine. We'll see you again next week. Okay? Bye. Bye, Anai.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah. Bye, Ma.
Bye.